What's up? What's
These
up,
players like
YouTube? What's up, YouTube? This is boy Apartment Gamer and more Brooklyn Nets Stoop Edition. I'm here with everything BK Nets. John. What's up, John?
hey Scott, it was good to be on here. Hope everybody's doing well.
Yeah. Yo, I have a lot on my mind, man. I can't get this draft thing out of my mind, man.
You and every other Brooklyn Nets fan that lives in this world.
Oh, I have a feeling that it's gonna go good though. I really do, but I don't know about Sean Marks, man. I don't know. I don't know. And
Yeah,
this,
Sean.
go ahead.
Yeah, Sean Marks, the man who claims to know a lot, but rarely do we ever really see what he does until he actually does it. But yeah, I mean, I think that the base has had a few weeks to kind of digest what was probably one of the worst draft lottery outcomes in in our team's histories. But the thing at the end of the day to look at is that the Nets have the most picks going into this draft out of every other team. And we have cap space flexibility. We have a lot of things to work with. It's just how do you actually get the pieces on the team? And I think for the Nets right now, from what we've seen, they've been working out a few prospects. The one guy that I think a lot of people are now on base with, have been on base with, is Jeremiah Fears. I mean, this young kid has really grown a lot in a short period of time. Nobody expected him to do what he did with Oklahoma, but he really was that driving engine, that little engine that could, and he really became like a lightning bolt of a player. So you look at his stock, it's definitely risen up. And I think for the Nets, they're kind of hoping that there's some way somehow Fears could either fall down to them, or if he goes to a team, let's say like Wizards or Pelicans, that they'd be willing to negotiate with the Nets if we have a prospect that they would want to flip with. And
Right.
if you somehow land Fears with your lottery pick, I think it's a great start to your draft night because a point guard is a priority for this team. I would even say center as well is another priority. But if Fears is available with the eighth pick, you got to probably go with him just because a backcourt of him and Thomas gives you something to offensively work with, and we can find other centers in this draft. Now, if Fears is off the board, you look at a guy like Common Maliwak, if he's available, that's the center that you need for your future. So I think those are two guys. They're definitely in the Nets a ballpark of must needs with that lottery pick.
So you would take Malawat over say the other draft picks that I mean
Yeah,
centers.
I definitely would. I think Common just checks so much boxes. I mean, his draft combine measurements were pretty much all on the money. He's 7'2", defensively very sound, can rebound, can dunk. He's working on his offensive game. He's been taking a lot of practice threes. I just think his ceiling really is a lot to be excited about. I think offensively, if he could be on this team and grow that game, he really becomes a really big offensive balanced player potentially for a team like Brooklyn. And defensively, Jordy's going to enjoy working with somebody like that. And really, it gives us a huge reason to trade Claxton this offseason just because it's not working out. He got paid already, and we just haven't seen the growth of
Right.
revolution. Whereas with Maliwak, I think there's a lot he can grow with on a team like Brooklyn. And we really do need a sense to it. The way that the bigs are coming back into the NBA, you want that traditional big that can handle the opposing matchups on a consistent basis. Unfortunately, with Claxton, he doesn't always do well against those matchups. And this year, he kind of got beat by pretty much everybody. So it's like you kind of want to start fresh with that position if Fears is off the board, let's say, and you're deciding between other potential options. I just think Maliwalk is just far ahead of all these other centers right now.
That's a good observation though.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think so too because um the thing I like about Malawat is his height and his ability to defend, of course.
Right.
But I'm worried about his shooting. But I looked at him in the collar while he was training, and they were working on his shooting, which was kind of good. It was good. I mean, it looked good to me. But I don't know. Game action and training is two different things. But he
Right.
definitely has the defensive skills and the length. Um, we can have 2 7-footers in this draft. We could possibly pull two 7-footers out of this
Right.
draft, which is
No,
which is the good thing.
Most definitely. I mean, if the Nets do want to kind of get a starting center and get a backup center in this draft, you definitely could because with Dayron as well, I know what Mark said. I think is leaning more towards keeping his own restricted free agents, whereas with Thomas and Dayron, it seems like with the news coming out that they don't want Kuminga, I think it seems Marks doesn't want to throw that cap space away, which is smart on his part. You don't want to give valuable cap space away to a player that you don't clearly know could be a second or third option on this team. So by trying to re-sign in-house, I think that's a smart move. But with Dayron, we really don't know what his future could be. And unfortunately, if Claxton's still on this team, Dayron's not getting the allotted minutes. He needs to really grow his game. And I think he's a solid backup, but do the Nets really want to pay him that money just to be a backup, or do they kind of want to get another center that's a lot more younger and fresher and that could kind of work and develop and try to get something back for Dayron? I think that's an important question we need answered around free agency following the draft. So if you could somehow get Common Mallywalk, then use one of your later picks to get, let's say, a Danny Wolf, a Maxime Renard. Oh, damn. The Nets actually have two legit bigs that they could use in different rotations, which I think would be
Would
good
you
for them.
think they get rid of Claxton?
I think you have to if you get Common Mallywalk or if you get a later center like a Maxime Renard, and I think it makes so much sense because it allows you to bring back Dayron then on a cheaper salary, and you get to let him be your backup, and whoever you draft could be your potential starter. I think with Claxton right now, you hope it seemed like the Lakers, who do need a center badly this summer, are willing to do some type of trade business with us where we could get back some expiring salaries. I'm not even focused on draft picks for Claxton at this point, just getting his contract off the book and having free cap space for the following year, it's such a great, smart move on the Nets' part. And I just feel like that's something the Nets really have to try to do this summer because if you don't trade Claxton this summer, Scott, I don't think the Nets can get off his contract anytime soon unless they have to attach assets to him. You don't want to
Yeah.
do that
No,
when you're
you don't
trying
want
to
to do
build
that.
something from scratch right now. So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
I agree with that.
yeah.
If
So I
they
think
if
that's
they if
necessary.
they pull two centers out of this draft because they have four picks, if they
Hmm.
don't move down, right? If they don't make a move going down in the draft, they might just pull two centers out of this draft pick. Then I could see where they let Claxton go. I could see that. I hate to say that, but I can see where that can play a role. And it doesn't matter, like you said, you can get expiring contracts.
Exactly. And I think for the Nets right now, if you aren't doing anything crazy this summer, your best goal is to use the cap space strategically to be a top 13 facilitator. I think when Sham says this could be the craziest offseason, the Nets are right in the middle of that because no other team has anywhere close to the cap space the Nets have to absorb bad contracts, whether it's on a 1 or 2 year thing, most likely expiring would be best outcome. Let's say Kristaps Porzingis, for example, you get the expiring contract and you get picks on top of it, and then you have the cap space for the following year. I think for the Nets, if you could accomplish that in maybe 2 to 3 trades, it kind of lines you up for the following year to have a similar amount of cap space, but be able to actually go after way bigger talent. I think that's something the Nets really have to consider with the cap space this year, and that's why trading Claxton would be a main priority. Same thing with Cam Johnson as well. I know Marks has a picture of him dunking on Embiid for some reason in his office, but you just look at our timeline. Johnson's going to be 30 years old next year. He wants to be on a contending team. He doesn't want to do this process the right way. And I think that kind of played an impact in why our draft odds went kaput because you have guys like Johnson who don't want to do the process like that. They want to win right now. So I think if there's a team like the Spurs that want Cam Johnson on draft night and they're willing to dangle that 14th lottery pick so the Nets could get a second lottery pick, you have to be willing to be aggressive at that time and place for that. So I think if Marks could find a way to trade both Claxton and Johnson this summer, we are in a great position going to 2026 because the Nets could have over $40 million in cap space to potentially offer a max salary to a star if that's how things line up for the Nets. So I think that's definitely a strategy they got to think about.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely would like to pick up a guard though. So that's another thing. I there to me, there's quite possibly two or three guards that you can probably get in
Mm-hmm.
this draft that would be okay. I'm not going to say, either way, this is going to be like a rebuild in another year. I don't see it happening in like 2 or 3 years. Maybe three, depending on if they can get a free agent. But
Right.
but the key is to keep that cap space open.
Yes.
So don't absorb no more big contracts. Nothing that you can't get off your books the following year.
Right. And you just said about guards, like let's say we do get a sense or a lottery pick, then you like can we trade up for a guard? I just keep saying Yegor Demon. I think he really has a chance to be a breakout prospect. I mean the 6'8" height, the playmaking abilities. Yes, he has to work on speed and finding a more solid offensive game, but those things are easily fixable. And having a 6'8" point guard next to Cam Thomas, I think that's a good yin and yang combination. And having a 7'2" center in Malywalk, the Nets start getting bigger as a team. I keep saying that if that's the strategy the Nets go, you start getting bigger as a team, you will be a way more stronger competitive threat in a year or two, like you're saying. So if we
Yeah,
get Yegor Demon with that, by trading up, by combining maybe that Bucks pick with one of our later picks, I think it's a smart strategic move. And another guard of mention could be like a Ben Seraph. I know he's been in different mock drafts with Brooklyn. He's another guy that has some upside. I don't know if it's as a starter, but maybe as a potential backup starter. He's a 6'6", a point guard potentially. So that's definitely somebody to look out for. And then Nolan Trayor, a guy who potentially in the beginning of all this was looked at as a potential lottery pick, but he's kind of fallen down here or there. But if the Nets don't have a point guard in the top of the draft or in the middle, you maybe use one of your late picks to draft somebody like Nolan Trayor. So there definitely are a couple of guards like that. Yegor Nolan and Ben Seraph that the Nets could potentially take a chance on if they don't trade up for, let's say, Yegor Demon. So I think getting a point guard and center are essential, at least your first two selections. I think if you
right.
get those figured out, the wing thing I'm not crazy about. I know we've heard about Carter Bryant, Noah Senge. And Rasheed Fleming. Rasheed Fleming for me would be the best wing pickup in this draft if we somehow were fortunate to either trade up for him or somehow draft him. But I don't think that's a huge worry for the Nets because the following draft, Cam Boozer and AJ DeBosta. I'm more focused on Cam Boozer, but there are a lot more wings the following year. So I think the Nets don't be too crazy about the wings. Focus on point guard and center, I would say, for this draft. Because those are two huge areas that we need to address.
Yeah, yeah. You think there's a lot of wings in this draft, or more center? I haven't seen so many 7-footers that's quite possibly could fit on a team. Like it's at
Mm-hmm.
least 4 or 5 centers that you could probably pull out of this draft in the first round.
Right, and I think that's such an advantage for the Nets because it allows you to really start evaluating Claxton's future and figuring out can this center really fit our timeline, what we're trying to build, because you need to get bigger as a team. I think the Brooklyn Nets problem is Marks has done the small ball philosophy for so long that's really made the Nets such a redundant, imbalanced team. You look at all these other teams that are just having bigs who, yes, they're not always offensively on kilter, but defensively rebounding, they do a lot to impact the game and they're kind of like that cheat code on certain occasions once their offense does grow. So I think if the Nets can find that in a Danny Wolf, a Maxime Renard, a Kalkbrenner, like that's what you got to do to try to catch up to other teams in a certain way. Now, as far as you said about wings, it's not really a crazy wing draft other than the ones we mentioned: Cooper Flag, Ace Bailey, Fleming. What else did I mention here? Carter Bryant, and I didn't even say Thomas Sorber. I think Sorber could be a mix of a big and a four. He's got a little Bam Adebayo to his game. I think he could be that potential guy that you could play at the 4 or 5 interchangeably. And even with Derek Queen, some people worry if he could be an actual center. Offensively, he could be a dynamic power forward for the Nets. So I definitely think this is not a crazy wing draft. So, but there are definitely some valuable wings in this draft. But I would say Rasheer Fleming would be at the top of the wings for
No, that's my number
me.
one pick, man. I love him. I love that guy, man.
Right.
I think he might be a sleeper.
Hmm.
I really believe that. Yeah, I do believe he's a sleeper.
Definitely. And I even give a good honorable mention to Drake Powell. I think defensively, he has a chance to potentially be one of the best defensive players in this draft. He could guard 1 through 4, a real pest on there. I think this guy would be a perfect fit for Coach Doherty because we definitely need that defensive guy. If you look at the last few championships, there's been key defensive pieces. You look at Drew Holiday, right now, Alex Caruso. You need that defensive guy that he might not be defensive player of the year, but defensively, he's super sound and offensively knows how to contribute. I think a guy like Drake Powell could be a really good underappreciated pick for us because you could really see him fit in the system on the defensive side for what Jordy's trying to create.
Yeah,
Somebody look
yeah.
out for too.
Jordy definitely going to get somebody that got some defense. He's not going to get everybody that just got offense. That's for sure.
Exactly. So
That,
I think that's definitely something to look out for. And I would give another mention to this guy, Hanson Yang. He's a 7'2" center. I
right.
know he's kind of made his bread in China, but I think his stock is going to rise, especially with the fact that a lot of later picks are now, relocating for 2026. He could potentially be another option for the Nets later in the draft. Like you said, there's like 5 or 6 different bigs the Nets could go after in this draft, and my goal is get one of them with whatever pick you feel is the most important to utilize on that center. We need a big badly for our
Yeah,
future.
we do. You know what? It seemed like every team got a stretch big except us.
Yeah. Time to change the script on that, like
Yeah.
pronto.
I know this is a wing lead, but you need a stretch big too. Or you need a big that can score for real. You really do. You really need. And the way teams are playing now in the NBA, they playing with a stretch big and another big behind that. So I mean, you got to have some. You got to have the backcourt. You got to have that. I understand you need a point guard, but I think you can get one. I honestly speaking, you can probably get one for free agency. You'd be surprised.
Right. And that's why I think with the Nets is you really just got to start thinking about those pieces you need as far as organizing the structure of this team. So if the Nets could get a point guard and a center with this draft and maybe somehow get a wing, you kind of address everything. But I want to be upset if they don't get a wings and they just focus more on the point guard and center because you definitely need those pieces. Now, if we somehow were able to trade up and get, let's say, a Carter Bryant or a Sheer Fleming, I'm very excited about those two. I think those two defensively could be really sound wings in the future of the NBA. And for us, especially with Sheer Fleming, I mean, a 6'9", 7'5" wingspan, that's pretty incredible. And he's
Yeah.
232 pounds. He's
Yeah.
got everything. He checks all the boxes.
Yeah. What's his age?
He's a junior. He's a junior, so I think he's 20, I think. 2021. He's a junior, so he's not
Iceman,
exactly
you
18 or
here?
19.
Iceman, you
Nope.
in? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm
Hey,
listening.
Ice.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely. We're gonna definitely get one big at least. I mean, I have faith. I don't have too much faith in Sean Marks, but I do think he can. I'm on this line with them, man. I really am. But he knows his job is everything on this draft, and he knows that.
Right.
So I have a feeling that he's going to do the right thing. He's going to pick up the right players that fit what Jordy needs to do. I really believe that.
I hope.
You got any dark horses in this draft that you think that might pull some weight? Other than Rashard Fleming, which is who is my dark. He ain't even a dark horse no more. Everybody's talking about him, but I mean, before about a month ago or 2 months ago, nobody even said anything about him.
Hold on, my laptop is trying to start up, but just any player because
Anybody?
I like a lot of guys, but the one that I talked about on Breezy's podcast, Yannick, and John asked me about him earlier. Yannick Niedenhauser, he's older. I think he's 21. I think he's 21. He was a senior, played for Penn State,
Oh,
and he was supposed to go to the G. He went to the G League tryouts, and
Right.
then he killed it. He killed the G League tryouts, so they sent him to the combine. He got an invite to the combine. Then he did well in the combine. Now everything has changed for him. Like, hold on, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it could be. I mean, he's 7 foot or 7'1". Another center that's 250. You know what I'm saying? He shoot the three ball.
What
He's
school he
strong.
went to?
He's strong, but he's fast. Like I would say, like running straight ahead. Like he could probably lead a break sometimes. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
how fast he is for that size. And he played well. I think I forget how much he averaged. I'm on my thing is back up right now. Hold up. He averaged. I'm on Tankathon. Where is he at? Right there. He averaged 18 points and 9 rebounds, 3 blocks, 1 assist. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he could be some. He could be somebody. Oh, he's 22. That's why he's
Right.
22.
Okay.
But he could be another, senior just to pick up a backup center, maybe. You know what I'm saying? See what he can do. But he's supposed to go in the second round. But I think he moved up on the draft board. They haven't moved him up yet, but I think he moved rankings too.
I think a lot of teams in the NBA right now are looking at stretch bigs.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, they want stretch. They want. It's
They,
not. It's not so much a stretch bigs, but it's not so much a stretch big. It's just they want. They want like you was talking about earlier. They want, and I'll talk about on Breeze's podcast, a double big lineup. They want either like you said, a center that could man the paint, and you can score, get buckets there, and a power forward who is stretching the floor, or
right.
they want both. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
either
Right.
you can score around the bucket and you can stretch the floor, and I got a power forward that's like 7 foot that can stretch the floor as well. You know what I mean?
Something like Cleveland did.
Yeah, they want something like that. That's what most teams are looking for. Every team that I have, what I was listening to before I got on your podcast was like Chicago and the Raptors. They all want bigs for their team. Like, everyone wants another big. Give me another big, another big. You know what I mean? Who's on the board? Okay, that's cool, but in this draft, we need another big. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
Right.
all the fans want for their team is more bigs. And
I
like I said,
believe they call them the unicorn. Everybody's
yeah,
looking for that unicorn.
yeah,
Right.
You know
Washington
what I'm
and
saying?
yeah, Washington Pelicans. They want bigs. Then it's us, and then after us is Raptors and whoever else. They want bigs. The Bulls. They
They
all want bigs.
yeah,
Everybody want a big.
they all want that big. They
Yeah,
Right.
all want that big that can give them 20 points in the future and 10 rebounds or whatever. You know,
yeah.
that's what
'Cause,
everybody wants.
where am I was up? Yeah, the Bulls was they was talking about on the podcast that they would like to take what's that, Thomas
Maliwa,
Silver. They
Tom.
want Thomas
Oh
Silver.
yeah, I forgot about him. He's
Oh,
still
that would be a
young,
steal for them if they got sold. That would be a
Yeah,
steal.
they was talking about they want them, but they're not sure if they're gonna be able to get them. But that's who, you know what I'm saying. Fan base want another big.
I
You know
could
what I
see
mean?
the Nets going for that too.
If my ideal front court would be, let's say if we got Mallywood Alarpe, we traded for Sheer Fleming, a Fleming and Mallywood front court next to Thomas should give him a lot of protection, especially on the defensive side. Like that would be like a sick outcome for the Nets if they made that happen. Another guy I've mentioned that the Nets recently worked out, Nick Clifford. He's like your prototypical 3-and-D guy, somebody that can
Yeah,
defend, athletic, shoots the three a lot. Like if the Nets don't, let's say, sign Nikhil Alexander-Walker this summer, a guy like Nick Clifford, who could get way cheaper, could be that perfect slide in 3-and-D guy. Because remember, Jordy wants his team to shoot threes. So Nick Clifford's another guy that could be under consideration for the Brooklyn Nets as far as getting a prototypical 3-and-D wing goes.
Nick Clifford. What school he go to?
um,
Colorado.
Colorado. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Neek is nice. He's one of my guys. He's one of the guys on my draft board. But I wasn't sure if the Nets was gonna pick him up because he is a senior, and I mean he is. They got him ranked before 19 on Tankathon. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I wasn't, and he's older, so I wasn't sure. But now Nick Clifford is nice. He is somebody like you would want on your team if you was, you know what I mean, if you was ready to go. You could just drop him in and he's ready. You could just put him on the court today and he's ready to hoop, no problems, no questions asked. You know what I'm saying? Athletic, could shoot the three. He could pass the ball. He could rebound. He almost averaged basically averaged 10 rebounds, 19 points and 10 rebounds, basically. You know what I mean?
Mm.
As a 6'6" wing, and
Not
he can
bad.
play he can play the two and the three. You know what I mean?
So my thing is, we've been trying to, and I'm guilty of it too. One, the first three, the 1, 2, 3. Of course, I wouldn't mind Dylan Harper, or whoever. 1, 2, 3, the fourth pick. But there's gold in later rounds. I'm telling you, and especially in the first round. In the
Yeah,
middle of that draft, there's some good players in there, and you'd be shocked if they turn around and be stars. I mean, literally.
Yeah, no, I say it all depends on how the Nets want to build a team. There's
Right,
so many ways to build a team, right?
right,
You can get a young Jeremiah, and maybe at 19 you can find somebody else that's young, maybe, or like John said, maybe you trade up and grab somebody else that's young, and then you draft, your older players in the 20s or something like that, and or you can, what I'm saying, grab your one young player and grab like older players as you go down to 19, the ones that's more ready, what I'm saying, the better
right,
option, more ready, and go from there. If you don't, what I'm saying, because people think like because you do a rebuild, all your players have to be like 18 or 19. All your players really don't have to be 18 and 19. You know what I
Right.
mean? If you want your rebuild shorter, you would go for like, if you know there's a player that's more mature and more game ready, and you pick somebody else that's young that you figure like Jeremiah or one of them, you want them to be a star.
right.
You put them as young, and you draft the older player that's ready, and you build so your timeline wouldn't actually take 4 years or 5 years because you got five guys that's, what I'm saying, now like 22. You know what I'm saying, trying to still figure it.
Other words,
Right.
you don't put you ain't putting a bunch of rookies on the court. You actually putting after a year or so, they ready.
Right.
Right. You
Yeah.
know what's crazy? I can't believe these ESPN people had Rashid Fleming being drafted 27. I'm like, he has a 17 wingspan. I know the guy is a junior, but that shouldn't stop a team from wanting a guy who could potentially be one of the best wings in this draft. Like, if he somehow fell to 27, holy crap, some of these people are really that bad at evaluating talent. Forget if he's a junior, go for the best talent available.
No,
So that's why I think
this guy got a long wingspan, can
there's.
shoot, can run, can go to the rim. He reminds me of Michael Jordan. I ain't gonna lie to
Well,
you.
wow, that's a high compliment.
I'm not saying he
Yeah.
is. What I'm saying is he has the skill set.
Right.
Right.
Nah, the way they rank on their board, I can't figure out how they rank players on the board. I don't do rankings. I just know who I want for the team.
Right,
But
right, right.
when I look at a draft board, and I'd be like, nah, this is not right. Like these are not right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who y'all hiring to do y'all draft board? Like, they need to be fired like
They
ASAP.
hired AI. They hired AI.
Man, like yo, yeah, nah. I posted CBS mock draft. It's bad too. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what you guys are thinking or where you putting these guys at to be
I
drafted.
think they're getting so much information from all the teams that they get confused, you know.
The latest
Yeah,
mock draft had us drafting Nolan Chur. I'm like, Nolan Chur is nowhere close to a lottery pick anymore. Like, do you guys not been keeping up with the trends?
yeah. Like
What's going
nah,
on?
his name has not been mentioned or moved back up or nothing like that.
Yeah.
The only one that's like making noise is Asenge that's playing right now, even though he's playing with Ben Saroff. Like Ben has been
Right.
making a little bit of noise, but Asenge's name is like crazy right now.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about his name. Yeah. He's moved out.
Yeah,
Right.
He
for sure,
definitely moved out.
for
So
sure.
I feel like the overseas players, you can get a good player. No, don't. The basketball is just basketball, regardless of where you play at. It's the same thing.
Right.
But I'm cautious about overseas players. It took a while before they really, that, but it's like 1 in 20 becomes this
I,
player, that guy.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Right.
That's
And I
the
just
yeah.
thing
want
about overseas.
And I just wanted to note this too, with some of these guys in the later part of the draft now dropping out and relocating for 2026. I think the Nets. I don't think they're going to draft all five guys. I think strategically they're probably going to take one of those picks, either 26 or 27, maybe some of their future picks, and they're going to try to trade for 2026 picks or potentially move up in this draft. I think at the end of the day, with more guys leaving that later part of the bracket, that means options become even slimmer for some teams. I think the Nets are going to have to be a little aggressive on draft night because some guys you thought you could get with your later picks, they're not there anymore. So I think for the Nets, strategically, try to get a future 2026 first or try to move up to maybe a 4 or 5 slots in that 20 bracket.
So
Like the Nets
so
got
you
to be a
think
little aggressive.
so John, you think they'll just take like 2 or 3 players the
I
most?
think I think that's the best you can do because at the end of the day, I don't think the Nets want this to be a long term rebuild. They want us to be as short as it can. So you want to get guys that are a little more experienced. That's why, to Ice's point, it shouldn't be all freshmen. If you got Jessica Rasheer Fleming a junior, that guy could be dynamic in 2 years. You got
Yeah.
to get the best overall players available. So if the Nets get a point guard, get a big, somehow get a wing, you already have pieces to work with. So the Nets, if we could draft 3 really solid prospects and have picks for the following year, great strategy. It means we're starting to plan a timeline out. That's what the Nets have to do on draft night and the summer. Actually plan a timeline out with who you draft, how you use the cap space, and who's going to be coming off the books the following year when you have all that cap space to make bigger moves. We need a timeline established this summer before we
Well,
can really have an understanding of what this vision is this team wants to do.
they could get rid of one of those first round picks, preferably the later one. But
I was just listening to the Blazers podcast, and he said they only had one pick, and it's on at 11. And he was saying he wasn't sure, like as far as drafting a rookie, they don't have any room on their in their starting lineup or on their roster for any rookies. So he was wondering, right, if they would trade down. They would if Portland would trade down and get a guy later, you know what I mean? Because like later rounds you might end up in the G League or something like that. I'm not even sure if Portland has a team yet. I know that I think they might have been working on a G League team, but he was just saying like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know what we're gonna do with the pick because we don't have no space on the roster basically. So he was wondering if they're gonna trade it away at 11. You know what I mean? And end up with picks for later on or whatever. So the Blazers could be one, and I believe there's 4 teams in the NBA without a lottery pick this year as well. If somebody wants to get in the draft,
oh, okay, that makes
That's
sense
it.
for the Blazers. I mean, they could, yeah.
They have to move off of some guys. Remember Anthony Simons, Robert Williams, those are 2 guys. DeAndre Ayton, they might try to move off those guys with that pick to maybe get even more assets. So I think the Portland's in that position where they could get off of some guys while getting on expiring contracts and being even more positioned the following year too. I think Portland could be in an advantageous position
So
with
they might
moving
be
that
in
pick.
play for next year.
Yeah.
yeah, or whatever, or they might be like I said, a pick for later on in the draft, whenever. You know what I mean?
They only got one pick. They don't have a
They only
second
got
round.
one. They got one. They got one pick in this
Oh
whole
wow,
draft, and it's at 11 in the lottery.
wow, that's
You know
tough.
what I mean? So yeah, he was saying maybe they could trade for, like you said, John. They could even trade for like us because he mentioned our names in
Of
the.
course, everybody mentioned our names.
Yeah, he like, yeah, Brooklyn got 4 picks. Maybe we could trade. You know what I'm saying? Trade down with them. You know what I mean? And end up with 2 picks later or 1 pick or whatever the case may be. We could trade with them because they got like 5 picks in the draft. So I'm like, oh, if they want to move instead of moving up, if they stay at 8 and get 8 and 11, they possibly can get 2 lottery guys like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'll work.
I tell you
I,
this,
I would I would do that move. I would do
I,
that move.
I don't
With
think
the move.
anybody's. I don't think anybody's doing any big moves until this Giannis stuff gets settled. And I think this Giannis trade, this blockbuster deal, might happen right on or near draft night because for the Bucks, there's no point of doing it after the draft because they have no picks right now. I remember they heard the rumors that they had over like 8 potential top prospects training them, but you have no picks right now. So I think if Giannis does get moved on draft night, that's going to start a whole chain event of teams training with each other. I think they're waiting for that Giannis domino to fall to see where potentially, let's say Dylan Harper, if he gets traded to the Bucks, because I don't think the Spurs can keep Harper on that team and let him maximize his full potential. Because you already got Castle, you already got Fox. How does he fit that? So I think once the Giannis Dynamo goes, you're gonna start seeing all these teams potentially start trading with each other. So it could be a really crazy draft night. It really could on so many levels, not just for the Nets, but all these other teams maybe swapping picks with each other. I really think there's going to be a lot of movement, more so than people thought. Yes, it's a very deep draft, but a lot of teams are competing to either get bad salaries off the books, trade superstars potentially or secondary stars, or try to find teams to like take on salaries they just don't want anymore. So I think for the Nets, they're in the perfect position, which is being right in the middle. So I think once the Giannis thing happens, the Nets can have more of a clear idea of okay, this is who we should probably draft. These are teams who might need to start doing business with us. So I think there's gonna be a whole lot of movement before draft night and on draft night.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, but I really believe the Nets got a lot of position, boy. They got a lot of swagger going on. They can make some good moves. They can make a good move.
Yeah,
I
they
tell you,
can. Go
I
ahead, John.
tell, I tell you this: Sean Marks wants to go down as a legend and kind of redeem his whole like legacy. Grow some balls, and trade for Harper or Ace Bailey. Man, imagine he was able to rectify,
That
turn the eighth pick into a Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey. The whole world would go, "Whoa, Sean Marks! Wow, that came out of left field. Nobody thought he could do it." Like, I still think there's time potentially to pull off a blockbuster move. I'm not strong about Dylan Harper, but for Ace Bailey, he does not fit the Phillies timeline. If the Nets were able to actually do a good deal with Daryl Morey and get Ace Bailey, our whole draft night changes tremendously. Now it's like, okay,
Daryl Morey
can I get a big and a
cannot
wing
be
at that point?
trusted. Daryl Morey cannot be trusted, man.
No,
That dude can't be trusted.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you, but they're in a no man's winning situation. You have two aging contracts covering over almost $500 million. He has no way out right now. He needs as much veteran pieces as possible. Getting CJ and two picks to give him flexibility to build up their bench more, to sacrifice Ace to us, I think it's great business for us and them, because how is Ace going to help you? He's not going to develop this year quickly like you want him to. Because let's remember, trying to get young guys to catch up with stars right away. Look at the Kaminga situation. His whole confidence is shot. You don't want
Well,
that with a guy like Ace Bailey, who has potential to grow.
What about taking their next year pick?
Do they have a pick for next year? I think OKC has that control of that pick or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
Do,
if they
do
have.
they? Alex?
No, I was saying they was talking about them not. Well, I know Philly fans want Ace, but they was talking about how Daryl Morey uses a he goes by like stats or whatever. I forget what the word I want to use is, but however he goes by, it doesn't equal up to Ace. It goes to VJ and Con Knuckle. You know what I'm saying? For players that's more like his type of style. They're saying like Ace, it really isn't his type of style of guy that he would usually go for. You know what I mean? So they were saying like, don't be surprised if you see Con Knuckle or VJ go to the Sixers and Ace drops down. You know what I mean? Or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ace drop.
Analytics. That's what he goes by. And he drafts by analytics.
Man, if Ace somehow fell to Utah, that would be insane. Because doing business with Daryl Morey is tough, but Danny Ainge, come on, that guy's gonna try to take your house and your mansion for Ace Bailey at that point.
It's
That
some of
would
these teams, I'm telling you, they're
that's
not
nice.
friends. They when it comes to these draft picks, they are not liking each other. Trust me.
No,
They,
nobody in the top. Nobody in the top. I think nobody in the top eight. Nobody in the top eight.
they are not liking each other at all. If you want to move into their spot, you got to give up your house,
Yeah, no
and they
facts.
want your wife too.
Because so far, the only team that I heard that's listening to anything is Philly. Everybody else under us might want to move up, but Philly is the only one that's listening to anything.
Yeah, well,
I
Philly
I
desperate.
know there was talks about the Wizards and us, but I don't really see nothing with that because, like I said, Wizards want. They talk about Queen O'Malley watch for the Wizards. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they
Yeah.
might be where they at.
I'm telling you, if he was able to rectify that and somehow get Ace Bailey, it changes the whole draft night. That changes the whole future, honestly. And I know some people are low on Ace right now. I wasn't high on him, but at the end of the day, if you have a chance to get somebody like that, develop them long term, it's a huge win for the Nets. We don't have talent right now besides Cam Thomas and maybe Noah Clowney. You got to find ways to be ballsy on this night. And if what Philly wants is Cam Johnson and one or two, at worst, three picks, that's a deal you make and you don't look back, because at the end of the day, we need the talent right now. And I think Ace Bailey has a lot of potential. And if Philly's willing to play ball with us, it's something you got to consider at this point. But yeah, I don't see other teams that we could potentially like really move up with, because some of them are going to be very aggressive and some of them are going to be very content with who they get. But Philly right now, they're in that position where they got to win right now. And it's hard to win with George and Embiid being unknowns with their health situation. At least with
Well,
Cam Johnson in the team, he could be a reliable extra wing to get them an extra 10, 15, 20 points that they weren't getting this year, because Paul George was just really bad.
well,
Right.
I know the teams ahead of us want to be aggressive, especially the Jazz, because I forget which one. I know they wanted one, but I know the Jazz still wants one of them players. I don't know if it's Dylan or Ace, But you know what I mean? Like all the teams ahead of us that I listen to their podcasts and stuff like that. They all talk about moving up. But the players that they want to get, they don't really have to move up unless you want Ace or Dylan. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
Everyone's just scared that their player might go off the board. That they, you know what I'm saying?
Right, right,
Like
right,
somebody
right.
might accidentally take that player and you not knowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a cutthroat. They cutthroat
Yeah,
right now, boy.
yeah.
Trust me.
So
They want to move up.
yeah. But from me listening, everybody, the only one that may not take their player is Philly, and then between the Jazz and Utah, the Hornets, they want VJ,
Right.
and Jazz wants Trey Johnson, but they also mention Trey Johnson to the Hornets. You know what I mean? And if they mismatch, I don't think they want a mismatch. I think one wants one wants the other. But if one takes one, that leaves, you know what I'm saying? It messes up the board, like I was saying earlier. And somebody's gonna start having to draft somebody else that they really, you know what I mean? They second best player. Like, all right, then you start drafting Fears. You take Fears off the board, it messes up everything. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
That's why you got to decide between Fears and Malloy. Because let's say Pelicans, you would think they want to get a big like Malloy, but if they get Fears, it's like okay, we got to change our strategy up and get a big first. The good thing is there are different point guards. Jeff, you talk about Yegor Demon, Trey Orr, and Ben Seraph. So it's not the end of the world if you don't get Fears. You got to get at least a big or a point guard with your lottery pick, and then you go from there. I know people talked about hypothetically getting Noah Senge, Carter Bryant, but point guard and center with your lottery pick, that's crucial right now. You can find a wing later on this draft, vice versa.
Well, the
So
Pelicans might be interested in a wing now, since
No,
after all this news.
no. I talked to a Pelican fan who do like what I do, what we do, and he said that they said Queen, Queen, Fairs, and then Value Watch or something like that. But they
Mm.
want if Fairs is on the board and Queen is gone, that's who they taking. So they interested in other players, but they rather Queen first over everybody.
Oh, okay. All right. What's up,
Yeah.
Lee?
What's going on, man?
Not much.
hey,
What you
Leaf.
think? What you think, man? What you think about this draft for real?
I think I'm sticking to the code, bro. Like it's we need a guard, bro. Like I mean, the time for tanking is over, bro. I think what
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
CBA is forcing people to build a team, basically out of something. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, we got $70 million in cash space, bro. Like some of that, all of that money is not gonna go to Cam Thomas. It's gonna go to somebody that's looking to get paid or want to be here, however the case may be. In terms of the draft picks, bro, like I mean, to me, it's fair as a bust, bro. Like I can't. I mean, no disrespect to Con Caneppel, no disrespect to none of the Duke products, bro. Like Fierce is a guy I think that's gonna work right away for us, bro. I think we need somebody that's gonna be a game changer for our team. You know, and I think Fierce sort of fits the bill. He was able to score at the same level as the top three picks in this draft, which a lot of people are questioning now. Are they going to fall to the top three teams because Dallas needs a guard because they don't have Kyrie, or San Antonio don't need a guard, so they kind of want to go for a wing maybe or go for Giannis, and then nobody even knows nothing that's going on in Philly. So realistically, I'm hearing more and more as the draft gets closer and closer that the Ruckus boys could be moving down,
Right.
and I mean, somebody told me that it could happen, but I wasn't sure of it happening. But now that the draft order is intact, that possibly could happen. So I mean, who knows? I need Sean Marks to stay firmly away from trades until something falls on his lap, like the Mikel deal, because he's a complete idiot when it comes to trades. He's stupid. Um,
Yeah, he's not good at
he needs not to
trades.
work nothing. I don't need to hear anybody talking about we need to move up in the draft because he's a
He
freaking
is
idiot.
not good at trades.
He's
That's
not
one
good
thing.
at trades at
that's
all,
that's
bro.
that's the That's the worry with Ace Bailey. He might give up 5 picks to get Ace Bailey. I'm like, you don't have to do that. Maybe give up
Yes,
3 picks,
he
but
might
he'll probably go
just do that.
five.
He might just give up.
Yeah.
Ace Bailey is worth him giving up 5 picks, but when we give up Mikel, he's the Knicks thinks he's worth 5 picks. So there's just two stupid teams
Facts.
just
Dude,
went across from the water,
right
bro. Like
across the water
it
from
doesn't
each
make any
other.
sense. So
It must be the
he needs to
water.
stay far away from trades as possible. He's a complete idiot. He knows it. We all know it. And we just need to continue the course and build our own thing. You know what I'm saying? I think it's possible that we could get a play. If we build this roster the right way, we could get a 10th seed at minimum. With the Eastern Conference basically falling to pieces. Um, Nobody knows what Milwaukee is going to look like come start of the next season. Boston probably most likely going to sit Tatum out, so they're going to drop to the play-in probably. They're going to be probably giving up Drew and Porzingis. The Cavs will probably still be a playoff team. The Knicks will probably still be in a playoff team. The Pacers, Orlando barring injuries, so that makes 4 playoff teams. Miami is rebuilding.
Detroit.
Detroit will probably still be a playoff team. That's 5 spots. So I'm certain that we could possibly get a 10th spot if our coach is really as good as where we think he is. We think he is, and we build the actual roster, bro. Like go out and go get a goddamn roster. Stop wasting my time.
Yeah, yeah,
I just
definitely.
want to say this too. There's been a lot of training footage of Fears being in New York since his workout with the Nets. Maybe he got a promise that's saying, "Hey, if you don't fall to us, we might trade up for you." So I think Fears might really be our main target at the moment. But Leaf, I would caution that if we can't get Fears, Mayawak is probably your next best bet because we need a big really badly. You look at the way the league is moving with actual bigs coming back. We need that guy. Watching Claxton this year get embarrassed by everybody from oldest to youngest is just something you don't want to see with your big man. We need a guy that's fresh, that has the defensive intangibles, and can be a legit badass big to play with whoever we draft, around, especially with Cam Thomas as well. We need
But
that
you,
big
let
really
me ask you
badly.
something,
I
John.
mean, yeah, I agree with you that we, I agree with you that we need a big, but we got to remember that Malawak realistically is still a project. I
Yeah,
mean, I don't need projects, bro. Like I like don't no disrespect to him. I don't know how he's gonna turn out. Duke, it's Duke bigs, bro. I'm not quite fond of them. I'm not quite fond of anybody from Duke having a longevity career. They mainly role players, especially in if when they sharing minutes. That's when they at their best, bro. Like if you don't believe so, go watch Derek Lively last year when he wasn't sharing minutes and his minutes went up. He got injured right away. So my thing is. Like I right now, I know for sure that we're gonna need somebody that's going to usher in a portion of our team to where everything is going to be on the up and up, bro. Our offense is going to get better with Fears, bro. Our pace is going to get better with Fears. Our scoring is going to get better with Fears instantly. This is somebody, bro. I believe he could put the ball in the hands and he could make things go, bro. Like it's all according to how the rest of the roster is going to fit around us, man. It could possibly go that way. Kaminga is probably going to be a net by the time next year comes. He's
No,
probably
they
going to
said
be a
Nas
we're
net,
out
Reed.
on
bro.
that.
Like,
They said
What
we're
about
out on
Nas
that.
Reed?
So we're out on that.
What about Nas
well,
Reed?
Nas Reed probably is going to be a net too. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I don't
mean
know.
Well,
he's a
wait.
free agent.
Well, I heard a report today that Minnesota is going to try to be aggressive with Kevin Durant, and I don't think they could beat whatever the Rockets or Spurs could offer for Kevin Durant. But if Minnesota, let's say, want to get Kevin Durant, you probably have to offer Nas Reed in a sign and trade to the Suns, Rob Dillingham, and whatever capital you have left. That would kind of be the deal. So if they
Mhm.
do want to get Kevin Durant, you probably have to sacrifice Nas Reed. But looking at who's available for Minnesota right now, Julius Randle, he has a $30 million option. That's going to really hurt them. Nikhil Alexander Walker, he's likely leaving. So I think for Minnesota, they might lose both Nas Reed and Nikhil Alexander Walker, but their best chance to rectify that would be you have to get Kevin Durant to pair Randle and the storyline to watch this summer for
Mm.
sure if Minnesota can actually pull it off. So that's something to watch out for.
So Eskimo, you think
So
Nas Reed's
Eskimo,
an
you
off
think
the
Nas
table?
Reed is off the thing?
No, I don't know.
No, I don't
I'm
know.
not sure.
I'm not sure.
Nas was saying
Nas
that
was
he
saying
was
that
thinking about it.
thinking about it.
and he, you know what I mean? He was thinking about going back, but he's on Giannis tip talking about he got to think, he got to wait it out and see what he want to do.
Mm,
Leap, I think Leap, you got to echo. And John, you got to echo.
All right, I'll be right back.
okay.
Yeah, he got to think about what move he trying to make, whether stay or move away. But he said he wants to be on a winning team.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, fucking Nas Reed was everybody was talking about for him to come to the Nets.
Yeah, I know because he was a free agent and they figured the Nets would make him an offer because you know what I mean. He's a guy that you would want to pay. You know what I mean. He's still young, 6 man of the year, and he's not starting. You know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah,
His
yeah.
potential is high.
Yeah, the potential is there. I mean, there's things that the Nets can do to still free up cap. But like my thing was, we need a big. We need another big, man. We need a scoring big, man.
Yeah,
Everybody in the league got a scoring big except us.
that's why I don't. I know they looked at Reynard and Kalkbrenner, but I I heard Renard got a promise, but I haven't heard the Nets say anything else about. Well, they keep things quiet anyways, but I haven't heard no other noise other
Yeah,
than that. They sat him down at the combine.
yeah,
They
they
didn't let him
did.
play
I
after his
heard.
first game. Yeah, they didn't play no more. So somebody was like, "We going," you know what I mean? We're
Yeah,
gonna take you. I don't know if it's us, but I know they said it's in the 20s. A team that's in the 20s give him a promise. I don't know if it's us. I hope it's us because, like you said, like that dude is nice.
yes, he is.
And he's even though he's older, he still has potential to be better, much better than what he is right
Yeah,
now.
you the one that told me to look at him. I really looked at him, and his game it's got a lot of promise. It really do.
Yeah. So I hope they draft a big. I don't know if they're gonna draft a big. And like Lee said, like it's about how they want to do this roster. I don't know how they want to do the roster. You know what I mean? and that's gonna be the tough part when we see how they draft and who they draft. I hope they draft players that we actually want. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
I've seen them work out players that I didn't know, like Javon Smalls. This dude named Javon Smalls, he was a guard, 6'4".
yeah,
He got a hell of a jumper. But I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know who he was. I had to go look him up. You know what I'm saying? Like why we, I know they do that. Work out the no name guys as well. Somebody who might go undrafted, they might, you know what I mean, G League or 2-way contract or whatever.
right, right.
But they might end up drafting somebody who we don't know, and the fans be upset. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I would be pissed off too because I've been scouring. I've been scouring the NCAA, man.
Yeah, no
All
fact.
right, so I had a question for you. What's your thoughts on Hansen Yang? I mentioned we give a Scott Show. He could be a potential center option for us later in the draft. What are your thoughts on him?
Like I said, Hanson is nice, skilled, big. He's quick, but he's too slow at the same time. You know what I mean? In his post moves, in his area, in his box, he's quick. He
Right.
can, he can move his feet well in the paint. But as far as like running a break or anything like that, he's gonna be last every time, bro. He's like dead slow. You know what I mean? But he has the off. He has. I'm not gonna say he has the Joker skill set, but they already like comparing him because he's that slow. But he can pass. He can hold the ball above his head, make plays, cutters. You know what I'm saying? Spin move, fade away, right hand, left hand, hook shot. He's nice. He's nice. I just don't know about his defense.
Right,
I
right.
defense is gonna hold up, and I don't know if he's good in drop coverage because I never seen him play in drop coverage either. So I don't his defensive, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
pedigree. I don't know.
Mm. Yeah, if he ain't got no, I'm telling you, Jordy ain't taking nobody that don't play no D. I'm telling you that, or at least show promise in D. You know,
Fact.
I don't
So I
think
don't
he's
know if he.
gonna
I
go.
don't know if he does. So I don't know about his defense. I know he averaged 2 blocks, or two, might have been 3, but I think he averaged 2 blocks a game. I don't know if but the blocks are not like he's putting, you know what I'm saying, shots on the black backboard or anything like that. It's like, you know what I mean, a smaller player trying to go up, like, come on, dummy, I'm gonna block it on the way up. You know what I mean? Those type of blocks, like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Don't try to do no layups right here. I'm 7-1. Like, what are you doing? Those type of blocks.
Man, that shit is crazy, man. This is gonna be an interesting draft, though. I know that. I know that for a fact.
Definitely. I can't wait because I need to see who we get. I'm dying to see who we get on draft night. You know what I mean? I want to really see if they get Fairs or they go for a Senge. I want to see. You know what I'm saying? I want to see
I'm
how they
like
pick.
Leaf. I'm like Leaf. I want Fizz. I really do. I think he's a perfect fit for here. But he's, I saw his interview talking about the, coming to New York when they worked him out. They worked him out, and they were like, he was like, it's new to him. It was exciting, coming to the city and stuff. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, Fairs been my guy from day one. Since the first game I seen him play, I'm like, oh yeah, this
This dude
is
gonna
my
be nice.
guy.
This is
You
gonna
know what
be
I'm
nice.
saying? This is my guy. And
He
now he's that high in the lottery. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm with it.
he reminds me of let me see, who did he remind you of? A player.
Well, Gary gave me the comp because I kept saying Russell Westbrook, and I couldn't think of who else because it's like I only see a small part of Russell. But he said Stephon Marbury, and I was like, yeah. I went and watched Marbury. He plays just like Marbury.
Right.
Stephon Marbury. He plays just like him.
Yeah, Stephon Marbury. Yeah, he do. Who's Kyrie's godfather? Wasn't that
Come on.
it's coming to me.
Wizards. It's Wizards.
Right. And he was with the Knicks.
Rod Strickland.
That's his game. That's kind of.
Yes, they said him too. Somebody said Rod Strickland as well. Yeah.
That's who he reminds me of. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly who he reminds me of. And but Rod was special around the rim though. But,
he's nice.
Yeah,
see, Fairs has to work on that. He's not that
he's
good
not
around
like
the rim.
He's not like that. But I mean, that first step, Rod had a first step. You didn't even see it coming. He was quick. He wasn't fast. He was quick.
Yeah,
so,
Jeremiah.
He can get into that paint anytime he wants to.
Yeah, that's Jeremiah. That's Jeremiah. So I think once he figure out how to control himself when he gets to the paint that quick, and figure out how to do like Kyrie and Rod Strickland layups, he'll be damn near unstoppable.
Yeah. 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 That's who I want. I wouldn't mind having him. But then again, I also wouldn't mind having a 6'6" point guard, but
Yeah.
That's too.
That's how the cookie crumbles sometimes, you know what I mean?
You gotta choose your poison wisely.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind Dylan either. I wouldn't mind Fierce either. Like Big Pre said. After that, I'm just like, you know what I mean? I don't know who I would take after that, because I'm just like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like Trey or Walter Clayton Jr. Give me one of those later on in the draft, you know what I mean? Like I take Aiden Proctor, you know what I'm saying, the senior 6'6", he's 6'6" too. They say he's actually like a Scottie Pippen Jr. type player. And I know fans think Scottie Pippen Jr. is a good player, so Proctor is a bigger version of a Scottie Pippen Jr. You know what I mean? So I even take him at the end of the draft.
Proctor.
Yeah, I would take him at the end of the draft too.
Yeah.
Bro,
after I get Fierce and a center, I don't care who they get. Really, be honest.
I'm saying if there's no other, I know you're talking about Yango, but I'm saying if we don't end up getting a point guard and we had to take one towards the end, Proctor's a decent point guard at the end of the draft.
His stock went up too.
Because he can shoot lights out.
Yeah, he can shoot.
Man, I'll be honest with you, bro. the way our conversation's been going, bro, it seemed like we need about eight niggas in this draft to be satisfied. Everybody to be satisfied, bro. Like, I mean, like, come on. We don't went. All right, now since the draft lottery, we've been off the top three, bro. We've been trying to sneak in back in the top three just to find just because we finding out that Philly might not want Ace Bailey, and Ace and Dylan might drop somehow in the draft, but we all doubting that they're gonna drop below 5. But we trying to move up. We trying to move up picks. We need to move up from 19 to 14. We need to move up from 26 to 18. We need to move up, bro. We done tried all different types of scenarios and different types of talks. Bro, I'm so ready for this damn draft to be fucking over with, bro. Like, this shit is pissing me
Get
off,
something
bro.
and
Like,
let's go, right?
Yeah.
exactly. I'm so sick and tired. Ice telling me about some players in the back end of the goddamn draft that he think we need, and they gonna get on the team and they gonna do this, and they gonna be versatile. We can put them at the 4 and the 5. Rasheed Fleming, bro. We could do this with him. Carter Bryant. We could throw him. He's the next Kawhi. Bro, I'm so sick of this shit with
Yo,
this shit. I'm so tired of it, bro. Our
Well,
season been over for months, bro, and we don't do nothing but wish. That's all we do. That's all we do, bro. I'm sick of it, bro. Like, I'm done. Just get this shit over. That's why I want the goddamn. That's why I want the Eastern Conference Finals to be over with already. The NBA just trying to get every last penny and crumb out of the shit by sending the damn Knicks by giving the Knicks wins, and they know they can't compete with these teams. It's hard for them to market OKC versus Indiana, so they probably going to get the Knicks out of this series any damn way. And then the Knicks are going to get dusted off by OKC in probably 5 games. Then the shit is over with. Then we got days in June to wait for the draft, then finally get here, and then we don't get none of the niggas that we want. And then I'm like, see, this is what happens, bro, when we start losing. We need to start going after players. I
yo,
don't care anymore if it's through the draft. I don't care anymore that it's through free agency. Just get something.
yeah,
nah,
Shit.
yeah.
I ain't the one that you see. The only thing that I see, right, the problem I see in the draft is not even the top 8. I think when you get to 19, I think that's when the problem starts beginning because I think a lot of the players that I like or we should get, they're gonna go earlier than what I think they're gonna go, and I in that position you might have to move up. You know what I'm saying, to get somebody that I think we should get, like a Rasheer or anybody like that. But after that, I'm fine. You know what I mean? I'm not one to say trade up and move up and do all this extra shit. You know what I mean? Like I said, unless the Nets really, really, really want somebody, then go get your guy. If that's your guy, go get him. But other than that, you know what I mean? Like, I'm fine. I think 19 would be the only problem they have of trying to get somebody that they actually want at 19.
But honestly speaking, 4 first round draft picks in the first round is a lot.
Yeah,
You're not gonna use all of that.
You know what's better than 4 first round draft picks, Scott?
The first
Two
round,
of them shits being in the
in the
top
top
10.
10.
Don't believe me? Ask San Antonio, because
Yeah,
the NBA seem to be spoon feeding these niggas and trying to trying to turn Wimby into a fucking market. Meanwhile, while we sitting here trying to rebuild our team from scratch, and nobody in the front office knows how to do it. They have the episodes of God knows what, bro, to prove that they don't know what the goddamn hell they doing.
yeah.
This shit is
What, Lee?
ridiculous.
You know
I
what,
did.
Lee? 2 years ago, I would have argued with you about that, but you're right.
Nah, I did
No,
say,
you're
Lee, before
right.
you came up here, I
They
was watching the
want San
Portland.
Antonio.
I was watching Portland Trail Blazers podcast, and the dude on there was saying, he don't even know what they're gonna do with 11. They don't have any space any minutes on their team for a rookie. So he
Right.
was
They sure
wondering
don't.
if they would trade with us. You know what I'm saying? Since we have so many picks, and they will move all the way back to another pick, and somebody could take the 11 pick, like you're saying, get 2 lottery picks. In
Right.
that case, you
Right.
know what I mean? I'll scoop some picks up and drop them off to Portland so we can get the 11th pick. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's what they were saying. And I know there's 4 teams in the NBA that don't have any draft picks either. None
Right.
this draft.
Right,
You know what I
but
mean?
Portland's plan is simple, bro. All they gotta do is just rebuild. Like,
They rebuild is very, very simple, bro. Kamara, who made all defensive team. Shaden Sharp, School Henderson, and goddamn what's the big boy from UConn? What's his
Oh,
name?
Sorbet.
No,
nah,
no, the
the
big
center,
boy that was
the,
the center
yeah,
from
clinging, clinging.
Clinging, yeah. That's their rebuild right there. The rest of them niggas, get the fuck off my team.
Right.
I don't need
Kicking
you
you out.
motherfuckers here at all,
Yeah.
bro. Like, get your ass off my team. I get out. Yo, Aiton gone. Robert Williams gone. Anthony Simons, if you don't want to sign this deal, guess what? We don't want to pay you anyway. Gone. Get them fuckers out of there, bro. Go get your picks. Go get your. Their way to secure their future is simple.
Right.
They could come up a lot from them, bro. Like all you just got to do is just convince some bozo teams to make some trades, man, and get them dudes off the team, and you are good to go, bro. Your rebuild is simple. Our rebuild is not simple at all, bro. This is an absolute shit show, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Everybody think it's a few people that think Cam Thomas is the answer to this puzzle. He is not. I promise you, bro. Like unless we go out and sign some free agents, bro, like some restricted free agents that don't want to be on their respective teams, that's going to help us out. I don't know what the hell we doing, bro. It's going to be another season of us tanking for a knife pick.
Right. Right.
Oh, Will Riley,
Yeah.
Cam
Will
Johnson,
Riley.
definitely Cam Johnson 2.0, but he's more skilled than Cam is, but he's exactly like Cam Johnson with more skill though. You know what I mean? He gonna come around the curls. He gonna come off the curl, shoot the three. He could create for himself though. He could dribble in and out, crossover. He could do a little bit. You know what I mean? And he's real thin, but basically everything Cam Johnson does, he does. But I think he'll be better than Cam.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Ice, bro. Like, bro, we listen. It's not like we need like the eight niggas off this draft from 1 through 20, bro. The way we've been talking, bro. Like, I've been like, oh, yo, Danny Wolf is moving me, bro. Carter Bryant is moving me. Rashad Fleming been moving you, bro, since November, bro. Goddamn, Yegor. I've been on Yegor list, bro. I've been on Yegor list ever since November.
Yeah.
There's nothing changed.
Lee.
Nothing has changed about him, about what I said about him. He is the best passer in this draft, bar none.
But not. But now you see why I want to use all the draft picks, bro. I want to use all of them, bro. You know what I mean?
I mean, I understand it, but at the same time, I'm like, yo, if we use all the draft picks, guess what? We right back in the lottery where the NBA basically told us, "F you, we ain't giving y'all shit."
Yeah.
Nah, I know,
I
but
want to win.
nah, I feel you, but nah, what you were saying, like it seemed like we need like 20 dudes out the draft. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's why I want the draft. That's why I want you at least 4 of the draft picks. You know what I mean? If they use 3, that's cool. If they move up, whatever. But 4, I think you can get enough pieces.
This shit is crazy. We looking like the 2001 Los Angeles Clippers, bro, with all these damn picks, bro. What the fuck is,
Quentin
what
Quentin
is going
Richardson and
on?
Quentin Richardson and
Yeah, Quentin Richardson, Lamar
Mark
Odom,
Maggette.
like Corey McGetty. What
Yeah,
the
but they
fuck?
were nutcases, though. They were nutcases.
Yeah, they was nutcases. Darius Miles, all them niggas. I'm like, yo, what are we
Yo,
doing?
that's funny as hell though. Yo, damn. Yeah,
That's,
nah.
but that's exactly what's going to happen, Lee. If we pick all these players, we pick 4 picks, we literally going to have a fucked up season next year.
Exactly. People got to understand this CBA ain't designed for everybody to be the same age on the same team and come up together, bro. That's not how this shit is designed. You need to get one player, do trade that's valuable to your piece. You need to get one player, do free agency,
You
and then
definitely,
you need to get one young player.
yeah, you
That's how
definitely
you
got to,
need to
you
do it.
definitely got to get somebody, yeah, a free
You,
agent.
you think OKC is going? You think OKC is going to be holding on to Chet and goddamn J Dub, who both is 2 of the top 3 players in the same draft? You think they gonna still have them niggas 4 years from now? Fuck no.
No, they
Nah,
not.
they can't afford it. They
They
won't
can't
be able
afford
to afford that.
it. No.
Hell no, they won't be able to afford it. So, like, my thing is, bro, we gotta think the same way.
Yep. That's true.
I'll be honest with you. With the way that our roster is shaped right now, if the front office ain't thinking like, yo, it ain't crossing out all of the parameters of this CBA and how it needs to be used and how you need to split the money up and what player and what age group of players that need to piece together and need to fit together, bro. They ain't doing their goddamn job over there. They not, bro. I don't want to hear shit about no damn Drake Powell.
He got a promise. He got a promise in the 20. I think he's in the. No, he just got a promise. He ain't in the 20s. I think he just got a promise.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I feel you on that because that's what I was saying before you came on. Like, then if you draft early in the lottery, you draft your young guys. But once you get past the lottery, you got to start drafting like your more mature guys, so you won't be in the shitter. Like you said, your rebuild
Mhm.
wouldn't take as long because you got more mature players that's ready to play. You know what I mean? You might
Exactly.
choose try to get your star or your potential star in the lottery and then go from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's true, but you know what? I'm looking for players, bro, that have like you looking what you looking for in the back outside of the lottery is those players with those high motors. That's what you're really looking for. I'm looking for somebody that's gonna have a high octane motor, bro. When I look up and down at OKC, I see a bunch of dudes, bro, that got high motors. Wallace, Wiggins, Caruso, Dort, they all got high motors, bro. Keep it real. If Keon Johnson was to get traded to that damn Thunder team, he would look like one of the best goddamn defenders on that goddamn team just because he got a high motor and he coming off the bench.
Yep. That's
I
true.
don't have enough. I don't have nothing. Listen, the only thing I got towards Keon Johnson is people trying to cap about that damn shooting percentage. That shit is some shit. I don't want to hear nothing about no damn shooting percentage no more, bro. Like what his contribution to any team going forward is his motor and his defense.
That's true.
Defensively, bro, like that's what he brings. Zaire, defensively, bro, like we know what he can do, bro. Like we need those type of guys. Those type of guys. But the thing is, it's better versions of them players. You want to know who the better version of Zaire Williams is? He played for the Minnesota Timberwolves. His name
Yeah, I
is
was about to
Jaden
say that.
McDaniels. His name
I
is
was about
Jaden
to say that.
McDaniels.
Yeah, yeah, facts.
You know the better version of Keon Johnson? All of them motherfuckers play for the goddamn Oklahoma City Thunder. It's
Facts.
better versions of these players.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't want to
true.
get stuck with shit on top of shit on top of shit, and then we gotta clean it up. This is ridiculous, man.
Yeah. That's
And
true.
more,
That's
and
true,
the
Lee.
more and more and the more and more and more I watch the Eastern Conference, the more I get sick to my stomach, thinking what could have happened if these niggas wasn't dumb enough to give up three players for nothing.
Yeah. That's true. Well, we got somebody's picks. We got the Knicks picks.
We got all these
Knicks
picks.
pick,
We got all
Knicks,
they picks.
yeah, Knicks
Uh,
picks is always good. We just gotta wait for them to shit the bed.
yeah, that's coming though. Don't worry, it's gonna come. They
It
gonna.
is.
Cause that team
It's
is.
only a matter. It's only a matter of time.
It's just a matter of time for that. So
hmm
they better gloat as much as they want. 10
hmm
years from now, you're gonna be crying.
hmm It's only a matter of time before they get back into the dump into the 50 loss per season column.
And we got them picks.
hmm
That shit's
hmm
gonna be beautiful too.
It is. Gonna
That's
be great.
it's gonna be great. But
I think we
yeah,
got them. I think we got them shit to 2031 or something like that.
yeah, 2031.
Yeah. I know damn well the Knicks ain't gonna be shit by the time this decade is
Oh,
over.
it ain't gonna be that long. It ain't gonna be.
Hell no.
They're already talking about getting rid of Cat now, so
Yeah.
you know that shit ain't gonna be long.
hmm
Let me ask you, Leaf, about Danny Wolf because I didn't I didn't talk about Wolf too as a power forward, right? But
hmm
if you was to draft, just saying we draft Fierce, whoever, would you take? Because I know he's gonna go off the board earlier than what people think, Danny Wolf, right? So would you draft him if you can get him at 19? Would you draft him at 19?
Depends on who's left, bro. I think Danny Wolf, he has an interesting skill set. I like him. I like what he can bring on the offensive end. As a I think his offensive bag is pretty complete, bro. Like I think he can put the ball on the floor at his height, shoot, pass, rebound a little. I just question what type of effort that he's going to be bringing at the four if he plays the four in this league, because like the four is
Mm-hmm.
becoming more and more athletic, it's more versatile. Who's he gonna be able to guard, bro? If his ass is switch cheesing on defense, bro, like then we gonna and Nets fans are gonna look to pack his ass up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I feel like while we on the subject about the power forward, man, poor Clowney, bro. Like, I mean, good God, oh man, it's I mean, I feel like the frustration we saw the frustration in him last season when he was told to just keep shooting and just keep shooting and this, that, and the third, and he was getting very, very frustrated. I saw the frustration. I believe that the more and more he stood around Claxton, the more and more frustrated that he got. You know, they sort of share the same mind. You know what I'm saying? So I saw a lot of Claxton's frustrations rubbing off on him in games, man. Like where it's like, yo, this shit ain't working. Yo, what the hell is it? You told me to do this, and now I'm doing this, man, and this shit ain't working, bro. Like you can see it, and then you compile that on with the injuries. I just think it's more of a mental game. Like when it comes to surviving an NBA season as a youth, man. Like we got to remember, Clowney is only 20 years old, and we got him in the middle of the draft. When you get draft picks that far in the middle of the draft, it's something that you was talking about, Ice. We got to get like guys that's ready for this. That's ready for this, and you can tell from training camp the one and this is one of the this past season is the training camps that I could tell it was certain guys, man, that was ready to get going and get going. Now, John is 100% right about Keon Johnson and about a couple of other players, but I don't put Keon Johnson in the same conversation as Reese Beekman and Tosan, bro. Like, I don't. I think that Keon Johnson, bro. Like, yo, he fought his ass off. Him, Zaire, Jalen Wilson, they fought their ass off to be on a roster. I
Yeah,
mean,
they
I just
did.
don't
They
think
did.
I just don't think they as talented as any. Are they as talented as anybody? As the hundreds of other role players? Probably not. But I mean, but they
They
fought
played
their
hard
asses off.
though. They played.
They do play hard, and that's what you need for your role guys. As long as they still in those bench roles, I'm cool with that. As starters, I don't trust them niggas at all. But as long as they still in bench roles, I'm cool with it, man. And when they get to training camp, if them dudes are still on the roster and we draft four new dudes, they gonna find out. They gonna figure out real quick what the NBA is really about in terms of
Word up.
they gonna figure out real quick what the NBA is really about in terms of who you was in college is not how you gonna translate to in the NBA.
Sure
Yeah.
enough.
It doesn't always work out that way, bro. Like,
You
listen,
gotta show you gotta show something special for them to
yeah,
put you on the bench.
you want like in a training camp that includes our head coach, bro, and what he wants and what he was looking for, bro. Let's be frank about it. Keon Johnson, Jalen Wilson, and Zaire Williams, bro. They survived that training camp.
Yes, they
They
did.
survived that. Keon
Yeah.
Johnson played most of the season. Jalen Wilson played most of the season.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did. Yeah, they did take no break.
So durability matters. You know what I'm saying? If you could survive that, you could survive an NBA season, bro, because you probably gonna go through a whole lot more wit and tear wear and tear than you do in the NBA games because you off the bench, you probably playing 19, 20 minutes. You did all of that work in training camp just to play 19, 20 minutes and probably sometimes more because the starter's gonna get hurt. In our case, bro, the starters to get traded. We done traded so many. We done switched so many damn lineups, bro. Like we switched so many lineups more than niggas switch their drawers.
Yep, that's for sure.
This shit is crazy.
Yeah,
You
we
know what I'm
did.
saying? So
We
I
did.
mean, my thing is like I've never had a problem with them in as long as they're in set roles. I think people misconstrue what I was saying about how they were played. The way they were being played is not the way they're supposed to be played on a winning team. They're supposed to be played in roles where, like, kind of like how you got the OKC boys. You got Case and Wallace, and Aaron Wiggins, and Caruso coming off your bench, bro. Like those guys is in the. That's the roles they should be in. But the
Right.
thing is, we don't have a starting five to legitimize those roles, bro. We don't have a legit starting five to legitimize those guys in those set roles. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
no.
saying?
So I thought,
And
into what you're saying though, but I thought they were just trying. I thought the Nets were just trying shit just to try shit. You know what I mean? Tyrese Martin
yeah,
bringing the ball up court. We know he's not a point guard,
that
but
shit is that shit. Oh no, that I'm.
yeah,
Oh
right. So
god.
I figured they were just trying to just go ahead and try this. Let me see something. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
let's
Like
see what you
go out,
do.
run out there, and let me see what you're gonna do with this. If I put the ball in your hands in this situation, what would you do with it? You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And that's what I thought they
I
were doing.
feel like, bro, we build the team ass backwards, bro. We started off by building the bench, bro, but we ain't got no goddamn legitimate starting five. All of
Yeah,
the niggas that we liked from this past year that was on the damn Nets team are
they,
bench players, bro.
yeah, bench guys.
Zaire
Yeah,
is a bench player on a damn great team. We all know that.
yeah,
Keon
right.
Johnson is a bench player on a top team. We
Yeah,
know
right.
that, bro. Tyrese Martin is a bench shooter on a great team.
Facts.
We built a bench, bro, before we built a goddamn starting five. We got our head coach before we got a goddamn starting five, bro. Like we built this shit ass backwards, bro.
That's funny. But that's true though.
And bro, if you look at it, if you really look at it for what it is, bro, like in terms of how the roster is already set up and the guys that we like that actually show grit on this team the entire year, bro, them niggas belong on the bench. We ain't got no choice but to spend the $70 million on a starting five.
You're
We
right.
ain't got no
No,
choice.
they is bench guys. Tyrese Martin definitely a bench guy for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
bro. Like,
facts.
look how the NBA treated us. They gave us the AC. They like, yo, y'all got $70 million in cap space, and y'all looking
You
for a
better
top
spend
five
some of
pick.
that money. That's what
And
you're
y'all looking
saying?
for a top five pick, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Go spend some money. Acting cheap and shit, bro. Like, come on,
Run that
bro. Like,
down. Yo,
bro, like I ain't gonna lie. The NBA is looking at us like we some cheap niggas, bro. Go spend some money. We got
that's
the
fine.
most cap space in the league, bro, by far. We could pay 10 niggas. Go
Yeah.
spend some damn money. Listen, the free agent don't look sexy. Make it look sexy, man. Shit, go after some of these restricted niggas that's looking for some bread.
I mean, they
They
could.
they technically can go for Giannis if he wanted to come here.
No, that's via trade, bro. Like I'm not talking. I'm talking about the restricted free agents
I know what
that's
you mean.
looking for new money. But like Giannis, if Giannis was a free agent, it'd be a no brainer.
Oh yeah, yeah. He not free agent. You got to trade too much to get him.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta trade too much to get him, bro. Like, come on, bro.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. That's the
like,
problem.
unless Milwaukee is over some type of invisible one layer, bro, like that I didn't know about, bro. Like, what the hell we giving up? Well, what? I guarantee you, we giving up future picks in that trade, and I don't, and no nobody up in here want to do that.
No,
So we
no,
No,
trying to
no.
stay as far as away from Giannis as possible.
yeah,
John
yeah.
Morant, I mean, I like John Morant, but I don't know what the cost on the penny is going to cost him. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And we probably going to want somebody else that's on the roster as well. You know what I'm saying? So, but John Morant seem okay. I wouldn't. I don't know, man. John Morant probably more problematic than anything. I don't think the front office want to deal with him.
Nope.
Yeah,
Um,
he might be an issue.
yeah, but we looking for like I mean, it seemed like the front office is looking for something that they looking for character guys,
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're looking for a
but at
guy.
this, yeah, they looking for a character guy to all right, this is our team, man. We're pretty good. We could do some things, but we need somebody to take us over the top. I'm hearing Porzingis might want to come over here, bro. Like I don't have a problem with Porzingis in terms of his game, but in terms of what he's gonna be like in terms in and out of the lineup, bro, that's what I got a problem with. So I don't want to spend no money on nobody that's not going to be ready to play and then ready to play at least 70 something games. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the reasons, bro. I don't know why we turning our back on Kaminga. I don't know why we turning our back on whatchamacallit. Kaminga. Kaminga is ready to go.
Man,
He
Yeah.
they
ready
got
to hoop.
that tells me that they got their eyes on somebody else. I don't know who it is, but they got their eyes on somebody else. I know it's not
You
Giannis.
talking about Golden State?
Oh yeah, Golden State Kaminga. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because he's out of there. So somebody gonna make him an offer. He's out. But we said the Nets said that they wasn't interested in him. But when they say they're not interested, that means they waiting on somebody. They waiting on some. They got their eyes on somebody, and they're
Yeah.
not saying. I know they say Giannis, but like we said, there's too. You gotta give him too much, and you gotta do too much to build a team just around him. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's just too much. You gonna give him too much to build a team. So I'm thinking they got their eyes on somebody else, and we don't know who it is yet. They waiting for somebody else to move and be like, all right, we go get him. That's what I think.
Yeah. There's
You know what
somebody
the crazy?
they got a
You
plan.
know what the crazy? You know what the crazy thing about it, bro? We got three restricted free agents, bro. That a lot of people don't even want to let go. Cam Thomas, Dayron, and Zaire Williams is our restricted free agents. And restricted free agents, sometimes they get paid a little bit too much goddamn money, bro. For my
Yeah,
liking, I ain't gonna lie to you.
I would let go of Daron to get a one of the centers in the draft. I even let go of Claxton and keep Daron. You know what I mean? Like either way, I'm fine with moving off one of those because to me, like I keep saying, they do similar things, and I think it's too much. You get Claxton who plays drop coverage. And I mean, even though he can guard the perimeter, then you got Daron coming in playing drop coverage. He can't cover the
Dayron,
perimeter
Dayron,
too well.
Dayron got to fix that foul problem. I think Dayron has been working on a lot of things offensively.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He can still block shots. He's still a way above average rebounder.
yeah,
I seen it in that one game in that game that he started where he put up 25, 15, 5, 3, and 3. Um, Quentin Grimes is a restricted free agent. I don't know if Philly want to re-sign him. Because he gonna be. I ain't gonna lie. He gonna be looking at a bag the season that he came off of because he was
someone
wilding
got
out, bro.
paid, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah. He was wilding out. Santiago Dama was wilding out off the Memphis bench. I feel
Yeah.
like there's players in this draft that could do what he does, bro. I see Danny Wolf in him. I see a couple of other dudes up in there and him. Josh Giddey is probably going to be re-signed by Chicago.
Yeah.
I just don't like Kaminga. I don't know why we're turning our back on Kaminga, bro. Like, what is it about Kaminga
He's
that's not
asking for too much
really?
money.
Not it said that I looked it up. It said his contract and the offer he would get is going to be between 25 and 30 mil.
Hmm.
That's where it's at for him.
25 and 30 mil. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
between somewhere between those numbers. But he might.
So
I think he was asking for more than that because when I looked it up on the computer, it said that he was what he was asking for was to be the second highest paid player on Golden State.
Right.
the
He didn't earn
second
that.
highest, but oh yeah,
He didn't
that's
earn that.
wow.
He didn't
Yeah,
earn
That's
it
that.
said
wild.
that. Yeah, it
But
said.
yeah, he didn't earn that at all. But here's the thing: when you were a restricted free agent, bro, and they got bird rights to you, bro, like you could get the opportunity to where you could ask them for a little bit higher than what you were
Yeah.
time to time, bro. Like the Kyrie is a got a player op. Harden got re-signed, so he's off that list. Middleton is in Washington. He got a player op. He probably gonna pick that up. Julius Randle got a player op. He's definitely gonna waive that. Nas Reeves is gonna waive his. Um, who else? John Collins. He might pick that up. I don't know if he gonna waive his because he's been some shit. Bobby Porter's he probably gonna waive that. Dorian Finney-Smith, he's probably gonna take his. Pat Connaughton, he probably gonna waive that. Just looking up and down at the free agent list, I'm just seeing it like okay, like it's gonna be some niggas
the rest of this free agency, bro, like kind of like trap Miles Turner, is gonna be looking for some bread. He's an unrestricted free agent. Um, D'Lo, who we just got up off of. Tim Hardaway Jr., who had a solid year. Bruce Brown, who been passed around the league, bro, in the last 2 years. Brooke Lopez is done.
Yeah,
Malcolm
he
Brogdon
done.
is
He should
done.
retire now.
Yeah. I think Brooke Lopez. Come on, Brooke. You 37 years old, bro. It's time.
Word up.
Yeah. Schroeder is looking for some new money. Luke Kennard is looking for new money. Luke Kennard is only 28. I didn't even know he was that young. I thought he was older than that. Chris Paul, get your old ass out the league, bro. You 40. Al Horford.
Yeah, Al
Uh,
Horford is
Nikhil.
even.
Here's a couple of names that might be okay. Nikhil Alexander Walker. I like the way he played. Malik Beasley. That's another shooter. Um, uh, 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 who else? Just to name them couple of names, but the only name that really like outside of the names that we got for restricted free
So
agency, and
Leaf, let me ask you a question. Restricted. When you're a restricted free agent, what's the difference between a restricted and team?
restricted free agent, it means that a team could offer you a sheet, and the team that you're on has to match it, or you go to that
When
team.
it says team, right?
Yeah. But a restricted free agent, bro, you basically go to the highest bidder,
Okay.
no matter what. So like, it's like okay, they paid the most for you, so that's where you going, bro. Like, oh,
Right.
I don't get to choose where I'm going. It's like, no, you don't. Okay, all right, cool. So it's
Okay.
basically,
So it's a
it's
team option.
basically,
Oh, team is a
yeah,
team
yeah,
is a team option, right? Oh, okay.
yeah,
I
yeah,
got.
yeah.
I got.
Restricted is basically it's sort of like the team option. Yes, it's sort of the same as that. So if a team come through and offer Cam Thomas some crazy shit and we don't match it, you go to that team. So um. outside of Kaminga and the names that I mentioned that's going to stay on their teams, Quentin Grimes, like, I mean, that's probably the only name, bro, that's left, bro. Like, but free agency ain't going to really look like free agency anymore because it's a lot of niggas that's getting top dollar, bro, and the money is going up. So we got to lock in our roster now. Like, you
Yeah,
know
let me
what I'm
see.
saying?
Let
So,
me see
I
this
mean,
because, like, when you look at the Nets, damn, Keon Johnson, Therese Martin, DeAnthony Milton. He's not on our team no more, is he?
Anthony Melton, no, he's expiring.
Oh,
He's
okay.
he gonna be a free agent this year. So
D'Angelo
he been
Russell, Dayron Sharp,
D'Angelo
Cam
Russell.
Thomas is Dayron Sharp and Cam Thomas is restricted.
Why the hell is Reese Bateman, Tyson Etienne, Drew Timmy, goddamn, yo? It's so many niggas up here, bro. They ain't even gonna get no real NBA clock, bro. This is ridiculous. Trendon Watford, bro, he probably gonna walk. I don't really see us keeping him here. Like this is a sad ass group of individuals, bro. Like
Yeah,
this
when you
shit is
look
just.
at it, you like this
I'm
shit is
just
like
looking
it's,
at these niggas. I'm like, what the fuck?
you know how you got that sock and that sock, you know how a patch sock, you know the
Yeah,
Muppet socks. This
yeah.
team is a fucking Muppet. It's pieces
This
of
this this this
everything.
shit this shit look like the Chase Budinger years, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Like this shit is bad. This shit is terrible. Good
Yo, this
God.
shit is it's all over the place, man. It's all over the
This
place.
this this ass.
I
100% rat ass.
I
Look at
don't
this
even
shit,
want to
bro.
see it. I really don't even want to see
Maxwell Lewis in 2026 got a team, bro. Like, and Tosan got a
it.
restrict. How many restricted, bro? All of these dudes is not gonna get paid, bro. Like,
No,
let's
they
stop
can't.
this.
They can't. They can't. They can't. They can't keep this.
They ain't even gonna get paid by the league, bro. Like, I see maybe Cam Thomas and Dayron getting some money this year. The team options that we got with Keon Tyrese, that it might and Jalen Wilson might be valid. Zaire Williams.
This roster might look whole brand new, bro. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, let me shut it down, bro. Like, cause I'm
Yeah.
getting pissed off looking at this shit,
All
bro.
right. Thanks,
I'm gonna get.
Lee. Thanks
Yep,
for being here.
yeah, definitely.
I'll see you later, man. All right. This is Apartment Game and More Brooklyn Nets edition. Thank you for checking it out. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Love you. Peace out.